Have you ever wished your to-do list felt more like an RPG? In this walkthrough, I'm going to show you how to build quests that actually make you want to finish tasks. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your quest database. So as you can see here, this is a dark version of the gamified template. So you can actually switch modes on your Notion. So all you have to do is just click Ctrl+Shift+L on your keyboard and then click the same to toggle between the modes, light and dark mode on your Notion. So all you have to do first is, of course, create a page and then just name your page however you like, and then choose an icon where you can choose any of these emojis or these icons in here, or you can just upload it here. You can choose from Giphy or Pinterest and then copy the link on here and then paste it here, and then you'll be able to upload this any particular image that you choose. So this is actually a GIF file, so you can use GIF or PNG or JPEG. Okay, so yeah, again, you can just name your page any name you like. And then after that, all you have to do is just press enter. Okay, and then whenever you want to create a block, okay, just hit space and then type this slash, and then just type in the function that you need to pull up. So for example, we're going to create a database. So the difference between these two, the database inline and the full page, is the database inline, it will show you the database directly in this particular page. However, if you choose this database full page, it will just look as a title. Like for example, we're going to create this. It will just look like a link. Okay, it will just look like a link. It won't look like this. Okay, so database inline, it will show you the database like here, like so. Okay, so for example, you've already created a quest database, so you can name your database quest, either quest or tasks or missions, any kind of term that you want to name your tasks, just to make it more fun, you know. So just to simplify our process, we want to name this as my quests, and then of course you can choose the emoji or the icon that will represent this database. Of course, using any emoji or icon is totally up to you. This is totally optional. However, the purpose of gamification for Notion is basically making things look more fun, you know. So any kind of task, any kind of mission, any kind of work quest that you dread, that you don't really want to do, so you want to make it look more fun. Okay, so that's the purpose of one of the purpose of gamification. So all you have to do is create a database, okay, and then you can create the database title, and then you can also create the database layout. So okay, so if you're a beginner in using Notion, so I'm just gonna walk you through quickly about how to use this property or this settings here for the database. So for this layout, for aesthetic purposes, I usually use gallery view so that I can present like labels, aesthetic labels, and buttons and stuff. So you can also use any of the table here. So but gallery is always my preference when it comes to Notion dashboards. And then I usually use gallery, and then I guess second is list, and then if I want to create data or new pages easily, I use the table. All right, so for gallery, You can choose a card preview here, so any image that you want to display on your Notion dashboard, so you can choose either a page cover or page content. However, if you have a picture property on your Quest database, then you can also choose it from here if it's available. Okay, and then for the card size, you can choose from either small, medium, or large. And then for show page icon, this is totally optional. You can show this one, or you can toggle this back and forth, whatever you prefer. And then wrap all properties just means we want to see all the text, for example, in a particular field, okay? So that, you know, the text won't just trail off the edge of the gallery view. Okay, so and then the load limit here is up until 100, so you can choose from here. And then open pages in either side, peak, center, or full page. Okay, so however, the difference here is when you use this in your tablet or your phone, whatever you choose from here, it will, whenever you click a page in your database, it will always open in full page. Okay, that's in your tablet and your phone mode. However, in your desktop, you'll be able to use any of the three open function. Okay, so that's it for the layout. And then the property visibility, it just means that you want to see all of these properties and then hide all of these properties in the view that you have chosen. So all of these or this particular function will be applicable with whatever layout that you chose. And then for filters, you can choose any property here that you want to filter it by, just to make sure that you're going to find whatever you're looking for. So that's the purpose of the filter. And of course, the sort, if you already know how to use Excel or Google Sheets, these are basically self-explanatory already. So sort, you can also choose whatever property you want to sort it by. And then for aesthetic purposes, you can choose to minimize all of these functions right here so that you won't have to see those view. Okay, so it doesn't work though on tablet and mobile mode. You can still see the filter and the search icon on your tablet and phone mode. Okay, so let's get started on the properties that you will be needing for your Quest database. Okay. All right, so as you can see, I have created two sections for each database page. And then when you collapse one of these, I named the section fill these in. And then the properties that you will be needing, at least for now, okay? So the rest of the properties I will be discussing on the next part of this tutorial. For now, you will just need two number properties. I named them both XP and diamonds. For the diamonds, you can actually name this in whatever currency that you want. So you can choose to name it like coins or wealth or gold, you know, whatever currency you feel you will feel fulfilled by. So as of now, I named this as diamonds and then this one as XP. And then you will be needing a button property as well. Now, as you can see, this has a different font than the usual Notion fonts that you use on your Notion templates. You can use any fancy text generator online so that you can generate this particular font, and then you can also use any emoji that you can find online and then use this for this button. So right now, I used swords to signify this button so that it will appear more game-like. Again, one of the purpose of gamification is to make things more fun, to make your real life tasks more fun. Okay, so that's it for the basic properties that you will be needing. I'm gonna collapse this one and then I'm going to toggle this section. Okay, so the other property that you will be needing is a checkbox. So pretty simple. And then another formula property. I'm gonna show you how the property looks like at the moment. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through how each formula will work so that you'll be able to recreate these types of formula in your next Notion template creation. Okay, so as you can see, I use style formula, and then whenever you have a text that you wanted to include in a particular formula, you always enclose it in quotation marks. Okay, and then always use a comma within a formula. And then as you can see here, this is the styling option. I'm gonna show you the definition of the style formula or style code. As you can see, B stands for bold, and then U is for underline, and then italics is I, C is code, S is for strike through. And then these are the colors that you can use to make your text appear more aesthetic. And then you can add this underscore background, and then the quotation marks, and then if you want to add a color to this particular background or this particular code, just add the color before the underscore. So that will work as gray, for example, gray underscore background, and then the background will appear like that. Okay. So I'm going to show you the formula once more. Okay. And then as you can see, the colors that you can use are very limited. It's not really, you can't really use hex codes when it comes to styling text in Notion when you are using a formula property. You can still use emojis though. Alright, and then whenever you wanted to have a property tagged after a text, you just type in that particular property, and then it will appear in this list right here. So the list here, as you can see, these are the properties in your Quest database. If you want to have another or a new paragraph, just type plus and then quotation mark \n and then quotation mark, and then it will signify a new paragraph. Okay, so that will work for any formula that you will use for this particular, for any property that you will use for the formula property basically. Okay, so and then this is how it looks like at the moment. So if I choose to have it if I choose to change the color, for example, I want this purple. As you can see here, it will change the color to purple. All right. So I'm gonna bring it back to green. Okay, and then the next property is a relation property. So as you can see here, the name is add to avatar. So I'm gonna be this is one of the things that I will be teaching you in the next part of the tutorial series of building your gamified Notion template. Okay, so that's it for your Quest database. And I'm gonna show you some of the Notion tips that I learned as well. So if you've been wondering how to do this sections or divide the properties in sections, all you have to do is just go to this 3 dots right here, and then click on customize layout. Okay, and then as you can see here, each of the blocks are divided by section, I guess. And then you have another function here where you can add any property in this panel. You can also choose to have the properties that you don't wish to see in your main page right here. Okay, so you can add it here instead of dividing it by sections in here. So how do we do this section? So all you have to do is click on this one, add section, and then name the section that you like. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this one, and then if, for example, I want this property to be in this section, I'm just gonna drag it up in this section, and then it will appear under this one. Okay, so the reason why I added these properties under no action needed is because of the button property. So for example, whenever this button property, all right, so I'm gonna close this one for now. I'm gonna click on apply to all pages. I'm gonna show you how the button property looks like. Okay, this is the name of the button. Okay, and then this is the first action. So whenever I click this button right here, it will check this checkbox. So it just means that you've already completed this particular task. Okay, and then as you can see here, there is a show confirmation. So in order for you to have this function or have this action show up, all you have to do is just click on add action and then show confirmation. Okay, so that's it. And then for the confirmation message, as you can see, this looks like a formula. For example, this is just blank. Okay, all you have to do is click on this. All right, because whenever you click on show confirmation, it will always show a text here, so it's not in formula mode. So you will have to click this one here, and then it will enable you to create a formula for this dialog box. Okay, so as you can see, you can also use a fancy text and a formula. Just copy and paste from any fancy text generator online. Most of them are free, so I haven't really seen any paid fancy text generator online yet. But yeah, you can use those functions and then copy and paste the font that you choose here. And then, as you can see, in the show confirmation box, it will always ask you to recall this particular field or this particular code, I guess. This page dot the property name. So all the this page will always precede the property name that you want to appear in the confirmation dialog. So the syntax validation should always appear as valid, so that whenever this is in error or whenever there's a red message here, it means that the confirmation message won't likely work. Okay, so this is the goal, is basically to have a green valid text here, and then it means that your confirmation message will work. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what the confirmation or the pop-up will look like when you press this particular button. Okay, so as you can see here, it just shows me that I have gained XP and then 5 diamonds. Okay, so just click on this one. Okay, and then you can choose to click this one if you want to undo that particular action. So it disappears fast, so but if you want to undo a certain action, so for example, if you want to undo the button action, so all you have to do is just go to this one and just uncheck this box, because that's what the button does actually. So it just checks this box, it just completes the task. Okay, For now, you won't be able to relate or connect this to any database for now. So if you don't have your avatar database yet, you don't have to create this property. I will be including that step in the next part of the tutorial series. So that's it for the quest video. And then I'm going to show you next how to create this cute avatar database on the next tutorial. So thank you so much and see you again on the next. Bye bye.